top model. Which one of these men do you think she's married? This man, or this man? Well, actually, she is married to one of these three. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, Kitty Carlisle, plus 100 people in our studio audience on To Tell the Truth.
Grab us.
And now, here's our host on To Tell the Truth, Bud Collyer.
Thank you. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Panel, what can I say except good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gosh, Bud, your right side looks better than it has in a long time.
I know what you mean, and you're quite right. Wish I could do it that way every day. The three men, of course, that you saw a moment ago are off stage in a soundproof room. They can't hear anything being said on stage, which gives you a chance to question our lovely young lady, Janice, here. And we'll start with Tom Poston. Tom?
Just briefly, tell us, would you please, what you want in a husband. What you like in a husband?
Oh, one of the most important things, I think, is honesty and being a lot of fun. Honesty, though, is the most important.
If he does something you don't like, you want him to tell you right away.
Yes, I do,
Peggy
definitely. What does your husband do? He's an independent film producer. Thank you.
Orson?
Film producer. Now, does he ever ask you to appear in any of his films, or doesn't he want to mix business and pleasure?
No, at the present time we are working together. I'm also a singer with MGM Records, and he's shooting something on us.
Kitty Carlisle.
Well, that sounds marvelous. So, in a sense, he is connected with the theater and sort of your business.
Yes.
Well, then, what does he think about you have beautiful legs, but what does he think about your wearing miniskirts?
He likes it, as long as it's not too much.
He does draw the line somewhere.
Tom Poston.
Do you tell him, let's assume that on occasion, at least, you've been maybe annoyed, perhaps, in some of your work. Do you tell him about these incidences?
Annoyed?
Yes.
Well, annoyed because she's not molested.
Oh,
no. No, she doesn't have anything to do with you.
Peggy Cass.
How long have you been married?
2.5 years.
Thank you. I'm going to try to find out the real one.
Orson Bean.
Do you before you go off for a glamorous day posing for photographers, do you clean up the kitchen or wipe down the oilcloth? And
I try to.
Yeah, all right.
And
You don't have any children,
No.
so you really only have to take care of the house.
Well, I still have to take care of the house, but I don't have any children.
And are you a good housekeeper?
I think so.
that's about it. Time is up now for questioning, so let's ask the gentlemen to come in, please, from their soundproof room. You've learned a little something about Janice and Glenn, and let's see how well you do in uncovering the real one. Gentlemen, may I ask you, could you hear anything that we were saying while we were off stage in the soundproof room? Okay, thank you very much. So let's see, by starting with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Number two, where did you first meet your wife?
In California.
And what were you doing at the time?
I was basically a student at that point of the game.
You were a student?
Yes.
I was a student.
Thank you. Number three, what do you do now?
I work as a film producer independently.
You look like a model. You're so chic. Number one, what is the favorite dish that your wife cooks that you like?
I would say anything she makes is good.
Uh-huh. You would, because you're afraid that she'll kill you someday. Number two, what makes you the maddest at your wife? Like, if you really going to get sore, what is the trait that she has that really drives you up the wall?
None of that serious, really. I really can't answer with anything definite.
Number three, do you consider your wife to be a little tight with the house money, or do you think that she goes overboard the other way?
I would say she's a little extravagant, probably.
You would.
Orson.
Number one, how is your old lady around the house? I mean, is it all glamour, or is she does she put a little wax on the floor and spray?
She tries hard.
Yeah, she does. Number two, how does she?
You'll pay for that.
Number two, now would you be more enthusiastic about it than one? I mean, or is she pretty good around?
A for effort.
A for effort, but you did not have to see her down on her hands and knees scrubbing the floor, right?
Yes, when necessary, but...
Yeah, number 3. Now, do you mind the glamorous existence that she leads? Do you ever get bugged with like if the photographer says, now just raise your arm up a little, I want to get this shot here. Do you ever picture in your mind's eye the terrible scenes? Just interrupt me whenever you want.
It has its annoying points, I guess, but basically it's an interesting life, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Kitty.
Number 1, what do you think your wife admires most in you?
I don't really know.
Do you know number 2?
It's not much there.
Well, I mean, what do you think she looks for in a man? Let's put it that way.
I think self-respect, mutual self-respect. I think we discussed this and such.
Thank you. Number 1, what do you think about the miniskirts that Janice is wearing with her
I
beautiful
think she looks
legs?
very nice in them.
Number 3, do you feel that the miniskirt should have a limit?
Excuse me. Tom Poston.
You guys are so unenthusiastic. Number 1, do you like your old lady there?
You better believe it.
Yeah, what do you think of the way she looks, number 1?
I'd say she looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I would too. Number 3, you're not the least bit happy about all this. How does it... You know, you don't expect a girl like this to do a lot of housework and have housemaid's knee and so forth. In fact, I think she has a real good case of model's knee, as far as I can see from here. But number 3, don't you care if she goes out and exposes herself in front of photographers and other fellas? Oh, I don't mean...
If she were to do that, I
mean,
would
she
care,
has
yeah.
to stand there and some guy says, do this and do that, and she has to do it. Doesn't that bother you as a man?
No, she's well paid for it.
Good.
That's all the time we have for questioning. So without change of consultation, panel, mark your ballots. And while you're voting, it's time for our studio audience to vote. Audience, when I say vote, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are you ready? Vote. All right, that's your vote. Let's see how our panel did. Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, if you'll remember, Janice said she liked honesty particularly well in her husband, and I voted for number 1. Listen, he doesn't look particularly honest, but you don't always get what you want in him.
Peggy Cat.
The person made modeling sound like that. You know, she was posing to some terrible magazine on 46th Street. Modeling is just a business, and they look upon her the way doctors a pound of flesh. I voted for number 3, though, because they both have long hair.
Orson B.
I voted for number 2. He looks a little bit like Michael Caine, and Michael Caine always gets beautiful women in the movies he's in.
And Kitty.
Well, I couldn't vote for number 3 because when I asked him how far the miniskirts should go, I said any length, and he went... And number 2 said he thought that mutual self-respect, which is kind of like honesty, so I voted for number 2.
Very well. That's for your votes. Let's see who got the most votes from our studio audience. Our audience voted for number 3. Now, Janice, will you do us the favor of showing us which of these 3 lucky men is your husband, Glenn?
If you can't decide, come over here.
Oh, thank you very much. Tell me, do you lady and gentlemen plan a family?
Yes, we hope so very soon, as a matter
When
of fact.
things level off, I guess, a little bit for you both.
Somewhat, yeah.
And you are actually working in your husband's picture, this
Yes.
newest one.
Yes, I am.
That must be kind of fun.
It is.
I'm making a film revolving around my wife and her girl singing partner, which is the model, as they're called.
Will it be a theatrical short or TV?
Partly promotional, possibly theatrical, yes.
Well, we wish
You are a
you...
good-looking couple.
They sure are, and much happiness to you both, and success.
Thank you very much.
Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm James Telfer, and I'm Director of Communications at Wagner College on Staten Island.
Thank you. Number 2, what is your real name, sir, and what do you do?
My name is Dick Kerwin, and I'm the owner and operator of the Bastille Restaurant in New York City.
Thank you. Taking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes. That's 3 times $100 or $300. Thank you all very much for being with us. Thank you, beautiful lady. Goodbye, and God bless you.